the two extremes. Finding that one true love on that text or getting ghosted. We're going to talk about both of those right now. So how about I give you 5 signs I learned about that someone is absolutely, positively, without question, your one true love. Now, before I even read this story, this is what I think is definitely what I know for a fact that what would hold me down, would absolutely make me feel like I have found that one true love. And I am ready to bring that woman into my life. It's 3 things. First of all, if this woman can't fathom or think of the idea of not having me in her life, that I absolutely have to be in her life, number 1. Number 2, that her love goes above and beyond any kind of imperfections that I have. Like, if I make mistakes, she still loves me. She still wants to be with me. And most importantly, that she not only reciprocates all the love I try to give to her, but she tries to give even more. That the love that she gives to me, I know for sure, is as much as she would give her children or to the one true love that she would want in her life. Like, it's something where you just, I gotta imagine that is what love is. I don't know it. So why am I doing this show, Depraved and Debaucherous, about love, relationships, dating, and all this other stuff? Why am I doing this? Well, I'm not the expert. I think I know a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things from all my education, all the searching, the research, the knowledge base I've been able to put together, trying to understand things enough for me to go ahead and start a conversation. But this show I do is because of advocacy, because I want to be out there for the young people out there. And luckily I've actually gotten, it's not a big audience, but I know I have a number of listeners out there that are catching this show and they're giving this show a chance. I know it because I look at the audience that comes in now. Whether you catch the show on YouTube or you catch it on the feed. But I can look now and I can see what the numbers say. When it comes to the content I put out there, I can see what my audience is. And depending on what it is that I'm talking about, if I just look at this year's numbers on YouTube, I know for a fact that I still get a lot of male viewers for the most part. I know it changes a little bit here and there. When it comes to on Spotify, what I can see on the dashboard there of what my program does, I can go along and say to myself, okay, I have this show, I put it out there on a regular basis, and I look for the listeners. And what's funny is that, I've done over 300 episodes of this program, or at least when it was originally when I'm not podcasting, which includes some of the episodes here that I've continued to hold on to. But I know that I got a few thousand listeners on this show. It's amazing, but I do. So that's really wonderful to see. And if I look at what the audience is out there and look at what they've done this year, but what's been listening in, who's been listening in, and just asking, like, what is it they want to know about? What do they care about? It matters to me. So when I look at the audience that I have, and so far, listenership's been working its way through 76% male, 23% female, 2% non-specified. And then the audience for the age range, pretty significant. Because I look at it right now, okay, most cases I get about a good 3-to-1 male to female ratio, but I do have female listeners. And most of them were 28 to 34. At 23 to 27 would be the second best. And then actually 18 to 22, I have the highest female ratio. 67% of my audience, 18 to 22, is female. Incredible, 67%. The audience matters. I want to be intertwined And I want to make sure that I'm putting out information that starts the conversation, that injects the conversation, that just stirs things up. That's what I hope this does. Because for me, the end goal might be maybe I'll find that one true love. And I'll stop getting coasted, which is what the focus of this episode is. Let's get to it. 5 signs someone is absolutely positively, without question, your one true love. And here's the 5. Number 1, your best friends. I can understand that part. Now, I wouldn't say best friends. I'd say you know each other really well. That you are like best friends. Of course, we've heard some people that will talk about their wives or husbands and say, oh, he's my best friend, she's my best friend. Sure. But so many best friends, it's not so much best friends. You're really close, is what it is. Number 2, you argue in a healthy way. And arguing is not just constantly fighting. You know the conflict is inevitable, and you genuinely are interested in working out your differences. And this is one of the points you always bring about, which is always true. Focus on conflict resolution rather than simply ending the argument. And also, I would add the part that in an argument, you only talk about the issue at hand, and you never try to go back to something from the past. Because whatever from the past is there is resolved. You always do this, you always do this. What about when it happened like this? What happened for the last time? What's changed? Things like that. Let it go. Let it go. Not worth it. You think you talk about the long term together. So you imagine yourselves 5, 10, 15 years from now. Yeah, that's a good sign right there. If you talk long term like that. You're okay with spending time apart. Yes. Because in a relationship like this, if you're both working, if you're both pretty actively having to go on trips, go away, and kids get in the way, and other obligations come in the way, yeah. But you always know you can reconnect and you can rekindle. It's one of those things that's very important. Number 5, you would rather spend time together. Yeah. So the part of, you should have time to go out with the boys, you should have time to go out with ladies, which is fine. You do that because you need to have some time to bond and, to interact with friends and do something else. Because the 24/7 thing is tough. Therefore, of course you do that because you need a little bit of time just to be able to do other things so that you're not completely consumed by him or her. But in the back of your mind, you'd rather spend time together. That's a good. Now, into the signs a partner could be ghosting you. Ghosting it's confusion or rejection. Honestly, I'm going to say it's cowardice. On both sides. For those that are going to be ghosting, and it's on purpose, and you stop talking, it sucks. But, people are doing that a lot now. And it's now so common. And it's chronic, to be honest with you. Oh, well. The characteristics of the ghoster. Number 1 is avoidance. They tend to be high in avoidance, avoiding conflicts, distress, or uncomfortable conversations. Usually younger. Destiny beliefs is another characteristic. People who think partners either are or are not meant for each other. Anxiety, there are for those that are highly anxious and tend to fear from fallout from a breakup. They don't want the unpleasantness. But if they don't want to be in that unpleasant talk, that means they could never be in a relationship with you because they can't handle being in a relationship. They don't know what it's like to be in a relationship and try to work things out. As we talked about before. Safety concerns. When the person might fly into a rage or yell or verbally abuse them. So remember, some ghosting is doing you a favor. Sending unsolicited sexual content. You might have just icked them. That's a very much thing. Not accepting reasons for leaving. So when you have somebody that says, but I still want to talk to you. When somebody just can't accept the fact that if somebody wants to leave, you let them go. Just have to. Even if you get a little bit of attachment, you just got to realize sometimes you just can't hold to somebody Plus, if a younger guy trying to talk to a younger girl, she's going to change your mind easily. There's no surprise by that. And no shared social network. If you don't live in the same circles, no friends in common, no classes together, no shared work environment, you can just drop right out. Or they can just drop out of your life. That's the explanation to bring in here. Well, they're not wrong. You get a little bit of advice here from your Uncle King of Podcasts, and this does resonate for all of you listeners out there. Otherwise, you could just be out there like me, being depraved and debaucherous.